Most of all, Li now is really into DAO after the MCON. Maybe you can tell us some of the stories and lessons throughout this week.
Yeah, so I think the energy here has been really wonderful. It's all about the vibe of this community. And I think what makes DAO special is actually getting people together to coordinate and do things on a larger scale. And you can definitely see that DAOs will continue to grow very much so. It's and the excitement is just so much deeper here than a lot of the other events and things. I think some of the topics that people have been talking about, right?
Yeah.
One is onboarding new people. It's like how to get people started, and right now it's very spread out. Like you can jump on Discord, you can go to forum, but people are thinking about how to actually build a talent bridge. Someone talked about a talent bridge between Web 2 or traditional industries to DAOs. Where do people get started? How do they make it more approachable and learn?
Yeah, you and I talk about how Harmony, both the foundation but also many of the initiatives, will become DAO for many months, right? If not, even since last year, thinking about what is the governance structure for our network, but also really keep community initiative on its own. So now that we have quite a few tools, even for our community to hear, right? And the 100 DAOs that we announced, what are the things that we'll immediately jump into in the coming weeks that you see?
Yeah, I think definitely onboarding some of the main partners like Tally for coordinating votes, Coordinate for rewarding and incentivizing community for the work, recognizing people for the work. Definitely, I think you need all these kind of tools to make it such a smooth process so that the next, it's an ecosystem, right? So it's like a rainforest. You want diversity, you want trees of every kind, you want animals of every kind. That's what makes the whole ecosystem work.
Exactly. Many of them already think about end to end, both the how to educate and bring in more people, but also onboard them so that they use all the products, all the way to how the administrative, legal, accounting, benefits, insurance can work, right? Do you see where the bottleneck is when we actually need to launch 10 DAOs that we sell the mandates, but also 100 DAOs, like maybe really the coming quarters?
I think, tooling is getting better and better. I think the legal frameworks are getting resolved, including in the United States. Some projects are thinking about that. Probably education and like the human aspect is still the slowest, but it will get faster and faster as more and more people come, right? And again, like I think us empowering 10,000 builders is what will get the next million people into this space. So Elon Musk has this saying about when does the Mars colony become sustainable? And it's after a million people, right? It becomes self-sustaining. It's almost impossible to derail at that point. And I think to get to a million, start with 10,000, and each of those 10,000 bring in the next 100, 1,000 people.
Exactly.
And then you have a really amazing a million, and then one day a billion people.
Yeah, you and I did the math, right?
Yeah.
Like 10,000 builders, each of them hopefully bring in millions.
Yeah.
Some overlap, adding up to 10 million.
Yes.
It will be something that actually people will be surprised how fast it may turn out.
Yeah.
Many of the wallets, many of the DAOs, many of the initiatives actually bring in hundreds of thousands of new people.
Yeah.
Without even us thinking about who will be the next one. They already come in, but can we bring them to the wallet so that they don't worry about the security, or bring to the DAO that they find the community of their own.
I think wallet is something we're passionate about, and it's still a problem. It's still a friction point that even just now we had this conversation about people signing up for events and they have to do kickback, but they need a specific token that is a layer 2 that needs to be bridged from Ethereum mainnet. And so there's, even for crypto people who are at this event, they have friction to sign up for participating.
But I'm glad that Denver has been doing all this ETH Denver and now MCON to be really from the builder mindset to onboarding so many people, right? And you have seen the San Francisco and the Denver crowd quite a bit now.
Yeah.
Will you do some comparison?
I think both have great communities. The vibe is, of course, very different. San Francisco still, I think there are a lot more frontier thinking in different ways, right? Denver is more about human, if not regulatory, like pushing the boundaries in that sense. San Francisco is still more about scaling like NFTs or scaling creator tokens.
Right.
They're both like ambitious and innovative in their own ways, but slightly orthogonal to each other in terms of like what areas they want to go after and tackle. And of course, you know, DeFi protocol. Like San Francisco is great for protocol, DeFi, creator tokens, NFTs still.
Well, the fun thing is we met so many San Francisco friends in Denver, right?
Right, exactly.
Really, everyone coming to. It become even 2 months ago. We didn't know that it will happen for sure. To be everyone coming to town to check it out. The other thing is about DAO and NFT, right? For the longest time, even Harmony has been trying to figure out and learn what DAO is. But even NFT, right? We didn't have a story until much earlier this year. Even personally for yourself, you're not much of a collector.
Right.
You're pretty like really worrying about the operational and community aspect rather than the NFT and the cool aspect. Did you learn something about NFT this time?
I did actually.
Yeah.
I think. Well, NFT is very promising in general. Like, just because I don't have time to collect doesn't mean that I don't think it's amazing. And thinking about, you know, even our teammates are talking about derivative NFTs from the original, right? And you can, like, Disney is actually just a company that owns different franchises like Star Wars and different like superheroes. But NFTs will become those, and they'll become really everywhere in culture, right? Like generations, like our kids will grow up with, you know, their favorite NFT collectibles, and that's all they'll know. And but that's just one part. The other, like Mirror, and you know, any kind of work that you do can be minted on chain as an NFT and be yours forever. Moments NFT actually is an idea that that not just from Timeless DAO, our friends, but like I've heard that idea more and more from independent projects, right? And so I think, and there are people coming in and bringing on the best artists, bringing on the best creatives.
Maybe let's try a few questions from you or me too, because I felt like you had told a good story about like how the last few weeks, these few days have been really instrumental for Harmony to talk to our DAO partners. On the other hand, you and I, even though we talk about so much about our 300 million ecosystem fund and the 100 DAOs initiative, we haven't really tell our community in a more in-depth way, right? Finally, we find a moment to sit down. What do you think that I can be telling some of the broader vision to the community?
So obviously you wrote the $300 million initiative about DAOs. Before coming, like, what do you see here with the people? After talking to the people, like, how do you think about the initiative? Would you change some things? Would you update, modify?
That's a great one. Sometimes the matching of resources to people, to impacts, quite dynamic, right? We are very lucky in the position that we have the really platform, even a strong community to push many of the product forward. But then DAO is really a radical thinking about coordination. It's not just about, hey, here's the campaigns, let's assign a budget to it. It's really about the sustainable way of acquiring the culture and the value within a group of people. So even though we set out the goal, because that's what the budget we have, that's really the long-term goal that we know we will and can achieve. Coming here, I hear completely different stories about how different DAOs start. Also hear about the challenges, right? The diversity of different groups, the diversity of different way of starting a DAO that we may not have the background to bootstrap them, right? Someone that are very into games, someone very into like even D&D or like into their own initiative helping certain groups that we can not just set a budget to it and magically start it. So I'm glad that we came, most of all, that give us really all the backstories so that we go back and think about how do we actually connect these people.
where do you think the growth will really come from? Obviously, like from today, right? The community is still very small for DAOs. I mean, it's early. People are passionate. How does that go from like maybe thousands of people to really millions of people participating in DAOs?
Yeah. You are right that people that use this DAO, people that know what DAO is and actually are in some DAO are just in thousands, if not just definitely less than tens of thousands. But then the thing is, many of these, whether token holders or people that are already creating their memes or like driving certain marketing or community initiative, they could have been in the DAO already by now, right? They just don't know how to join some of the DAOs. They didn't know that these tens of people could have formed a DAO by themselves and actually, whether they invest together or build a product together or surface some of these DAO together, they just lack the tools. I would say even some of the onboarding process. I think why we emphasize whether one wallet or like building DAOs tools with some of these, whether Ethereum or other chains, must be the way. They are really just lacking that, wow, everyone is already collecting, but now it's actually called NFT. Everyone already have like 1,000 or 10,000 true fans. They just didn't know that they can engage them with badges and moments minted as an event NFT. I think it will be the same thing. That we have like 40,000 of our community members and like close to 1 million wallet holders. But then are they really voting and participating in the DAO governance? Are they collecting the NFT that any event they participate with us with their Zoom calls or they're coming to this, try out this product? I think it's just a matter of changing the mindset that they can be actively participating.
What do you think from listening to the audience this week? Like, some of the challenges that we can help solve?
Yeah, I think everyone should talk about education, onboarding, because to do the value creation is actually very clear. Once a bunch of people together, they will figure out what product to build, how to even capture the value, whether for a service or investment. What is really lacking is most people don't even come to join the DAO yet. Yeah, they don't know where to start. So for us to think about the scholarship, matching of people doing initiative, hopefully there's like our whether minimum pay or basic income for any creatives and builders coming to this space. Even though we set out to be $75 per hour, everyone is pretty mind blown that it can be a social experiment and incentives that we can experiment for many people to get started without worrying about which DAO to join, will I get paid, so that I can do that. I do think it can be a very radical experiment to really help the next tens of thousands of people. All right, Li. Let's go out and learn more the next few days.
Yeah, still early.
Yeah. Thanks, Li.
Yeah.